Hey guys, Metal Bum here. I'm gonna do a little unboxing, showcase a little bit of my gold, silver. My ratio for gold and silver is 50-50, so I basically play the ratio. And I want to talk a little bit about strategy. Give a warning not to invest everything in one basket, because I think a lot of times people, their emotions and fear, uncertainty, doubt can get in the way of investing more strategically.
Smash that like button and subscribe.
And stay tuned. The more you strategize, write down that sort of thing, the more you can do this in a way that's not just hodgepodge. Things have been getting pretty crazy, especially in the silver market, and I think I first want to commend everybody who has been holding onto their silver for these past few years, because that patience is really one of the number one things an investor can have. I think Warren Buffett said one of his biggest attributes, and I think I've mentioned before, emotions are the main thing in investing. It doesn't matter how smart you are, it matters a little bit how smart you are and how strategic you are, but you should actually more so focus on your emotions and planning. The best investors have some sort of plan, whether it's just a napkin math, play the ratio, or it's a certain number or some sort of goal. Just write it down real quick right now, guys. Don't get too ahead of yourselves in this bull market. We're just in the beginning, and focus on buying the dips. It's hard to give anybody advice out here because everybody has their own backgrounds. And I think now is a great time to diversify, especially with the lowering of interest rates and the uncertainty in the markets, the quantitative easing, the printing of money, the kind of the unsustainability of our government and things that are going on with the recession possibly coming and a slowdown in economy. A little bit about my strategy, which changes a lot. So it's a little bit, I guess, adaptable is what you can say. Some people think like, oh, why on one video and on another you say different things. Well, the reason is because things change. The war, the trade war might change. There's all sorts of things. So let's talk about strategy, but let's first get into this unboxing. This right here has been sitting in my closet for quite some time. I'm pretty patient, but one of my rules of investing is don't put in what you're not afraid to lose. There's all these adages and stuff to investing, but it kind of depends. Like even that adage, don't put in what you're afraid to lose, depends on what the investment is. I think gold is relatively a conservative play right now, and I don't think that there's huge downside in it. So if you're increasing your base in gold, silver, precious metals, I think now is a great time to do it. Same with silver. That was harder than I thought to open. But anyways, this I got. You guys might laugh or be jealous when you see this, because I bought, this is you guys know that I loved American Silver Eagles. I got this for $345 for a roll of 20. This is when I was using my eBay bucks, and I think it was $380, but with the 10% eBay bucks, I got it for $345. I wish I had bought more, but back a little while ago, spot was at $14 to $15. I got this, and it's just been sitting there in my closet. But I love American Silver Eagles. I'm just going to show them to you, and I stack about, this is my stack for silver at least, because I try to stick to, my plan is 30% American Silver Eagles, 30% generic bullion as close to spot as possible, and some of it at spot. Like you can go to silvergoldbull.com and get spot price silver right now, which is probably the best deal to start your base. And by base, I mean the majority, 90% of my base in stacking is American Silver Eagles, 30% generics, and 30% government and constitutionals. I love constitutional junk silver because it can be bought at spot or below spot sometimes. And then 10% are collectibles. You know, things like this. Well, this is gold, so this is a different way. But I stack my gold similarly. You know, you can buy collectibles like these poured silvers are considered collectibles. 2 troy ounces. And this is more like government grade bullion. This is a Britannia 10 ounce from the Royal Mint from England. But anyways, I do 30, 30, 30. I try to. That's kind of my pie chart right there. And then 10% might be collectors, like these poured silvers or vintage silvers. JM, Johnson Matthey, silver. These are considered somewhat more collectibles. You'll get a higher premium on them. But let me get back to my strategy. One of the most important things with investing in general, and this is investing, but this is also investing. I think a lot of people call it insurance. Silver is an insurance. Gold's an insurance against like inflation, calamity, that sort of thing, because it's inversely related to a lot of other assets, a lot of other investments. It's inversely related to the stock market, for instance. When the stocks go down, gold tends to go up. And right now, we're in a time of uncertainty, the trade war and other things going on, and it seems like you know, we might be in a downtrend with the stocks, at least as far as their appreciation, and maybe even their dividends will go down. Because there's 2 ways that you make money in stocks. There's the appreciation, it increases in value, but it also pays you dividends. Silver, gold, they don't really have dividends unless you buy the miners, because the dividends are basically like, you know, income. But what is nice is these do appreciate. They go up in value based mainly on, you know, what someone else is going to pay. So supply and demand, which is basic economics. But then also silver, gold, they have a tendency to be a hedge against calamity, inflation, hyperinflation, and deflation. So when the dollar drops a lot, they can go up. So that's usually during a recession or depression. So let me go on with this. So write it down. So like, just have a set plan. It could be simple. It could be like, I buy gold only when it's under $1,500. I buy silver only when it's under $16. Or it could just be more advanced. It could be like, play the ratios, play the gold silver ratio. It's just good to have a plan, guys. I know that, like I always say, I play the gold silver ratio 50-50. So if it's 90-1, I buy 90 times silver for every ounce of gold. And that's just a way for me to have a set plan. And then later, I need to go over later my exit strategies, because I have my base, which is, you know, I'm gonna always hold like certain precious metals. And then I have ones that I might be selling. And American Silver Eagles are great because they're very liquid and people always want these. So they're a great way to have something liquid that you can sell if silver or gold spike, because gold and silver do spike every once in a while, even though they're mainly insurance and conservative plays that, you know, basically beat the market in many ways. But if you keep ratios and have a plan, then that can allow you to actually be less emotional, less greedy, less fearful during times of you know, stress, or times of you know, financial instability and that sort of thing. So anyways, another thing is one of the main things of investing, which Warren Buffett always says, is don't lose your initial investment. So that by doing that, your strategy could be to mainly buy cheaper gold, you know, just regular you know, this is more of a collector's piece. So you buy, you know, cheap, and you just hold that as your base that you don't want to lose, you know, and then you invest in some like maybe numismatic type coins and some like older vintage bullion for, you know, that side, you know, investment, or you want to flip on the side. But 90%, just make sure it's like your initial investment that you don't want to lose. It sounds so simple, but it's very important, because when you lose money in investing, you overpay for the premium. It can take years to get that premium back, for instance. So start with the base and be conservative about it. And then you can get into miners and you know, like collectors, coins, and that sort of thing. And then have different strategies. You know, hold physical for financial, like shit hits the fan. It's good to just have them. I go more in depth on that on other videos. And then, you know, diversify into miners, maybe with like 5% of your total gold, silver holdings. And, you know, you can go into ETFs and trade them a little bit, maybe 5% of your total holdings. Don't go too crazy with those. And don't go all in on silver and gold. Don't put it all into these beautiful precious metals, because you never know, like, you know, the stock market could rebound, and it could rebound for several years. You just don't know. And then gold and silver could drop. So I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket. Even though I am metal bum and I do love precious metals, I'm only, well, I of my liquid assets, I'm only about, by liquid assets, I mean silver, gold, precious metals, stocks, bonds, all those different investments besides real estate, because I'm 80% in real estate. But of that 20% that I'm not in real estate, I might only be 25% into gold, silver, precious metals. So, you know, don't go over 50%. So I say 10 to 50% precious metals for your entire portfolio. Don't put, you know, all your eggs in one basket. It kind of depends on where you are with life, though. But I wouldn't go all in. I would go maybe max 50% precious metals. And I think that's only if you know a lot about it. Do a lot of research. So avoid greed and fear. Try to not get too involved emotionally in precious metals, even though they are very beautiful. So it's hard not to, but I always have to remind myself, and be a long-term holder. Try to be a long-term holder. Don't go in and out, because there's a lot of premiums that you overpay on the buy side, and when you sell, like when you pay the premiums on the other side, you lose a lot. So goals, stick to them. It's just good to have a plan. Those investors who have a plan, whether it's a good plan or not, they tend to do better. So like I say, stack 30% ASE, 30% generics, 30% gov, constitutionals, and 10% collectors. And then I also buy some miners and stuff, but I'll go into that later. 50% gold, 50% silver. I play the ratio. So anyways, guys, this is going a little long, so I want to cut it down. That's the end of that video. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you later. And for instance, here's a little platinum. So I do carry platinum too, just to diversify. All right, guys, metal bones out.